Team Fortress 2, one of my favorite games of all time. My main, the Pyro, is one class that barely any YouTuber actually mains these days. So I figured to make my mark onto the community and take advantage of a trend, I would make a tier list of Pyro's primary weapons. This video was inspired by the TF2 YouTuber Teal Opal, and his video on the tier list for heavy primaries, link in the description. I'll be using the same tiers that Teal Opal used in his tier list, ranging from the following tiers from highest to lowest: Collectors, Unusual, Strange, Unique, and Slopshit. For your viewing pleasure, I whipped up this visual tier list for you as well. Keep in mind this tier list is purely subjective and is my own opinion, so don't go apeshit when I put a weapon lower or higher than you think it should be. I also focus on these weapons in a semi-competitive scenarios. A tier list for these weapons in pubs would look completely different. Plus, pubs are a bit too random to get any actual results to base a tier list on, but whatever. Now that's out of the way, let's get on with the list. The Flog is in the bottom tier. I know, it's not common. Unlike the other flamethrowers, the Flog cannot air blast, meaning it cannot reflect projectiles or put out teammates on its own. This practically forces Pyro to rely on his teammates just to survive more easily when Pyros are normally pretty independent. However, the lack of an air blast means that teammates essentially don't want you around to reflect rockets that you can't reflect, nor be able to put them out when an enemy Pyro comes near. This weapon does not know what it wants to be, and it trades off the lack of air blast for a near useless crit gimmick that's easily countered by focused fire, projectile spam, and or an ubercharge, or hell, even an overhealed heavy in some cases. Or another Pyro that isn't using this piece of shit. The Flog is just a bad pub stomper weapon and everybody knows it. The tier says everything, this weapon is slop shit. The most useful tactic you can do is to get the meter full, use the crits, and pick up another primary weapon off of dead Pyro. Preferably the Dragon's Fury, but this is near impossible to do in competitive, or literally impossible in very little cases, as Dragon Fury is banned in some leagues. I know it is unbanned in most leagues, but whatever. Speaking of the Dragon's Fury, oh boy, time for the controversial pick. The Dragon's Fury barely makes it into the Strange tier. Main downside for this weapon is how it works. It fires quicker via a quicker recharge if you land your shots, recharges slower if you miss, and recharges super slow if you air blast at all. On paper, this sounds like an amazing trade-off. Rewards good aim with quick raw damage in trade for Pyro's most useful tool. Well, I cannot speak today. But in practice, this weapon falls a bit short. Max DPS of the Dragon's Fury isn't that much higher than the stock flamethrower. Main difference being stock and Dragon's Fury is that stock does more damage in ticks while Dragon's does burst damage. While burst is always better than over time, this isn't too noticeable, plus the weapon is difficult to use due to the air blast making the recharge slower. So you fire a fireball at the very least, allowing projectile classes to easily take care of you by spamming your general direction. At least you can air blast away the crit rocket heading for your medic, or blast away a sticky trap. It's a difficult to use weapon with very little payoff. The only reason why this weapon isn't in unique or even slopshit tier is because this weapon can do insane damage if it's crit boosted. Seriously, any crits medic watching this, use your crits on a Pyro using this. You will not be disappointed. Just make sure the Pyro you're boosting doesn't suck with it. The Backburner is a really good flanker's weapon. At the cost of using more ammo when air blasting, you do full crits when you're attacking from behind, doing insane damage in the process. This weapon does have weaknesses, some of them are the same as Dragons and Flog really. Due to the air blast cost, you can only fire 4 times before running out of ammo. While in a 1v1 scenario, you only really need 2, maybe 3 air blasts to kill a soldier. In a team fight, you can get overwhelmed and run out of ammo very quick by simply spamming at you. But team fight isn't what the Backburner is made to do, so it's fine, right? The big thing for me is what Pyro's role actually is. Pyro is a versatile class, being able to do almost all the roles effectively if your team lacks specialists in that role. Pyro's role can change just by simply equipping different weapons, or just simply doing different things. While the Backburner excels in the flanker's role, it lacks the versatility that I look for in Pyro weapons, which makes this weapon in the unusual tier for me. Ah yes, the two and best and most versatile weapons of Pyro primaries, Stock and the Degreaser. If the Tomislav and stock minigun of the Dialga and Palkia of TF2, then the stock flamethrower and the Degreaser are the Reshiram and Zekrom of TF2. Both weapons are amazing in what they do, and I personally don't find one better than the other. The Degreaser is slightly better for synergy with Pyro's other weapons at the cost of less damage, and slightly higher air blast cost, while stock trades away the switch speed for slightly slower gameplay and being more reliable in damage and air blasts. I find these two balanced, as all things should be, in which one that you like to use should be your personal preference. I myself prefer stock, but I know the degreaser is equally as good as stock. Each are better in their own specific situations. I just can't rate one higher over the other, as neither weapon has any real meaningful weakness that isn't shared with the other flamethrowers. These two allow Pyro to do essentially whatever he wants and needs to do. Versatility is the key factor here to playing Pyro, at least to me. Hey, made it to the end of the video. Congrats, I guess. Despite the possible controversial choices, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you liked it, click that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, then click that subscribe button. I do Let's Plays, occasional Smash replays, and occasional TF2 videos. Thanks. Have a fantastic day.